Hi, I'm Kurt Bowman and welcome back to Yoga for Old Guys. We are going to do another yoga workout today, and if this is your first time, I hope you enjoy it. And if you've been back and done this before with me, I appreciate it very much. Let's get started in a comfortable seated position. And for everybody who is accustomed to my style, you know that comfortable seated for you might be legs out, legs crossed, whatever works best, just to get your sits bones, their actual bones, in the old bum, get those grounded into the floor or to your mat, and just place your hands, wrists onto your knees, thighs, and sit up as straight as you're able. Just allow your eyes to go closed for a moment. Take in, pretend that you're being lifted just ever so gently from the top of your head. Spine and head is in line, and you're sitting as straight as you're able. Inhale through your nose slowly. Exhale. Inhale again. Exhale. Inhale through your nose. Exhale. Bring your eyes open and arms up overhead, dropping your left fingers and just lean into your left side, opening the right ribs. Bring your right shoulder, right elbow back a little bit. Don't curl up into a ball in front. Open the chest, stretch, and lean into the left. Come back up into seated. Arms overhead, drop your right fingers, and lean into your right side. Bring your left elbow and shoulder back a little bit. Open the chest. We're trying to open everything up. Breathe into the left ribs. Come back up into seated. Arm or legs straight out in front of you. Bring your right knee up. Pull your right foot up over your left thigh, tightly to your body as you're able. Drop your right fingers and lean, or twist into your right side. Drop your right shoulder. Open up the chest. Don't twist with your eyes, twist with your chest and your torso. Come back into center. Bring your left foot up over your right thigh. Pull it in as tightly as you're able. Drop your left fingers and twist to your left. Drop your left shoulder. Don't hold yourself up, but don't curl in. Open the chest. Come back to center. Roll over to all fours. Hands under shoulders, knees under the hips. Straight back, straight neck. Inhale, drop your abdomen. Bring your head and neck up into what is called cow. Exhale, roll slowly, arching your back, dropping your head and neck, and pushing your shoulders away from the ground. Into cow or into cat. Inhale, drop your lumbar, bring your head and neck up into cow. Push your shoulders, drop your head and neck, arch your back into cat, pushing everything away. Come into a flat back. Curl your toes under. Push back into downward facing dog. Pedal out your heels. Walk your hands back to your feet and just let everything hang. Go ahead and bend your knees a little bit. Allow your fingers to dangle, arms to dangle. Drop your head and neck, don't hold them up. Slowly roll up the stand. Shoulders up, back and down. Turn your palms facing forward. Open up the shoulders. Squeeze your shoulder blades together. Inhale, arms overhead. Exhale, forward fold. Bending your knees slightly. Bend your knees as much as you need to get your fingertips on the floor. Now just slowly straighten your legs until you feel the shake. Let your head and neck drop. Bend your knees. Hang. Roll slowly up the stand. Shoulders up, back and down. Palms facing forward. Mountain pose. Inhale, arms overhead. Forward fold. Bend your knees again as much as it takes to get your fingertips to touch the floor. And now just gently straighten your knees as much as you're able, keeping your fingertips on the floor. Let your head and neck hang. Walk your hands out into high plank. Always in high plank, your spine is straight. Head and neck are in line with your spine. Push back into downward dog. Right leg, three-legged dog. Bring your right foot up to your right thumb. Drop your left knee and point your left toes back. Come up into arms overhead. Drop your left hand to the mat. Right hand to your right hip. And just open your shoulder. Open your chest. Hands to the mat. Push back into high plank. Downward facing dog. Left leg, three-legged dog. Left foot, left thumb. Drop your right knee. Right toes back. Come up, arms overhead. Drop your right hand to the mat. Left hand to your left hip. Open your chest to the left. Bring your shoulder back, open it up. Hands to the mat, high plank. Downward facing dog. Again, right leg, three-legged dog. Right foot forward. Drop your back knee. Left hand to the mat this time. If you're able, bring your right arm straight overhead, opening up your chest. Keep your right knee pointed forward. Hands to the mat. Push back into downward facing dog. Left leg, three-legged dog. Left foot forward, drop the right knee, come up, arms overhead. Right hand to the mat, left arm overhead, opening up the chest. Hands to the mat, high plank. Push back into downward dog. Walk your feet up to your hands, front of the mat, forward fold. Roll slowly up to standing, shoulders up, back and down, palms facing forward, mountain pose. Series A. Inhale, arms overhead. Exhale, forward fold. Inhale, halfway lifted. Remember, back straight, head and neck in line. Exhale, forward fold. Come into high plank with your elbows as close to your rib cage as you're able. Lower into chaturanga. Upward facing dog. Exhale, downward facing dog. Walk your feet up to the front of your mat. Forward fold. Inhale, roll up to standing, shoulders up, back and down. Inhale, arms overhead. Exhale, forward fold. Inhale, halfway lifted. Exhale, forward fold. Come into high plank. Get everything in line. Elbows tight to the ribs. Lower into chaturanga. Inhale, upward facing dog. Exhale, downward facing dog. Look between your hands. Step or hop to the front of your mat. Forward fold. Roll vertebrae by vertebrae up to standing. Roll those shoulders up, back and down. Mountain pose. Take a deep breath in. Exhale. One more time in Series A. Inhale, arms overhead. Exhale, forward fold. Inhale, halfway lifted. Drop down into high plank. Elbows tight, lower into chaturanga. Inhale, upward facing dog. Exhale, downward facing dog. Let's add to it. Let's do left leg, three-legged dog. Left foot forward. Drop your back foot. Come into warrior one. Pivot your back foot. Come into warrior two. Arms are parallel. Front knee is still bent. Open the shoulders. Drop the back hand. Reverse warrior. Warrior two. Drop your elbow to your front knee. Come into side angle. You want your heel and your right fingers to be in line. Open the chest up. Don't curl down. Open it up. Come into warrior two. Straighten the front leg. Tick-tock forward. Drop the front hand and come into triangle pose. Come into warrior two. Spin the hands down to the mat. Come into high plank. Lower into chaturanga. Inhale, upward facing dog. Exhale, downward facing dog. Right leg, three-legged dog. Right foot forward. Drop your back heel. Come into warrior one. Pivot your back foot. Warrior two. Open up your chest. Drop your back hand. Reverse warrior. Drop your front elbow, come into side angle. Straight line between your left heel and your left fingers. Open the chest. Come into warrior two. Straighten the front leg. Pivot forward to the front. Drop your front hand and come into triangle pose. Always pretend that your head and neck and back are up against a wall, opening your chest. Come back into warrior two. Pivot the hands to the mat. Come into high plank. Lower into chaturanga. Inhale, upward facing dog. Exhale, downward facing dog. Come into a kneeling pose right in the center of your mat. Give your, if you're able to, sit back on your heels into what is called hero's pose. And then gently come down into rabbit, which is like a child's pose, but your hands are back by your heels. Knees are together. Come back up into heroes. And I'm going to turn and switch what is the front of my mat. Come into all fours. Push into downward facing dog. Walk your feet up to the front of your mat. Let your head hang. Roll up to standing. Change my mind. I'm going downhill here. Got to adjust my camera. Step to the front of your mat. Series B. Inhale, arms overhead. Come into chair. Just let your bum drop down as much as you're able, like you're sitting down into a chair, but don't roll forward. Keep your arms overhead. Come down. Bring your hands to heart center and bring your left elbow to your right knee. Prayer twist to the right from chair. Come back into chair, hands to heart center, prayer twist to the left from chair. Inhale, arms overhead, standing. Exhale, forward fold. Inhale, halfway lifted. Come into high plank. Lower into chaturanga. Inhale, upward facing dog. Exhale, downward facing dog. Walk your hands back to your feet. Forward fold. Inhale, halfway lifted. Exhale, forward fold. Roll up to standing. Inhale, arms overhead. Take a step forward into a lunge, low lunge, into a lunge. Both legs are off the ground. Bring your arms up into crescent. Front knee is tracking forward. Bring your hands to heart center and come into a prayer twist to the left from crescent. Straighten the back leg. Come back into crescent, arms up overhead. Hands to the mat. Push back into high plank. Come into downward facing dog. Walk your hands back to your feet, forward fold. Halfway lifted. Exhale, forward fold. Roll up to standing. With your right foot, step forward into a high lunge, arms up for crescent lunge. Prayer twist to the right from crescent. Straighten your back leg. Back up to crescent. Hands to the mat. High plank. Push back into downward facing dog. Walk your hands back to your feet. Forward fold. Roll up to standing. Come to the center of your mat. If you have some water, go ahead. Come to the center of your mat and standing. Ground first your left foot into the mat, all four corners of your left foot. If you're on grass or carpet, this standing or balance is always more challenging. Ground your left foot in first. Kickstand your right foot up against your left leg and come into tree. Now, if for you can bring your heel and your right foot up, heel right up into your crotch, into your groin, and bring your foot up along your thigh, that's fantastic. That's the fuller expression. Wherever your foot is at is fine, as long as it's not alongside the knee. Don't push your kneecap left or right. It's meant to go forward. Bring your hands to heart center. If you're seeking more of a challenge, go ahead and bring your arms up overhead. If you can challenge yourself even more. If you fall out, get back in. Challenge yourself more, go ahead and shut your eyes. Build our balance, build our strength. Engage all the muscles in the body by balancing. And come back down. Walk it out a little bit. Got a definite uneven spot here in the yard. Ground your right foot into the mat. Prop up or kickstand your left foot this time up against the right leg and come into your version of tree. Wherever your foot was on the other side, bring it there again. You've heard me say this, but my right is always more challenging to balance on for some reason. Bring your arms up to a point of challenge for you, whether you need them for buoyancy out to the sides or wherever. Go ahead and balance. Engage those muscles. Engage the hip. And come out of it. Walk it out. Another balance, maybe a little bit easier. Let's go back to our left foot, one you started with. Just bring your right toes out in front of you 6 inches. Remember, back as straight as you're able. Bring your hands up to a point of challenge. We've got a 21-mile-an-hour wind here today in Fargo, which isn't totally odd. Bring those right toes behind you without touching. And feet together. Ground into the right foot. Simply bring those toes out in front of you. 6 inches. Foot. Arms up overhead. Left toes behind you without touching. Remember, if you fall out of it, get back in. It's okay. And feet together. Okay, let's go down to the mat for some core work. I'm going to try a little different core work today. Something I saw. I've not spent a lot of time. It's not something totally novel, but it's meant to work on posture, strengthen the glutes, the lower back, and help some of us with our posture. So come down to the mat on your stomach, forehead on the mat, toes pointed back and toenails are flat on the floor, hands alongside your body, laying on the mat. Now come up first with your forehead and chest. And now bring your arms up behind you in a Superman style. Keep your feet on the ground and arch up lift as much of your torso off the ground as you're able. Squeeze your glutes together. Engage the glutes. Don't let them hang. Don't let them sag. feel of them. Are they taut? Arms back, chest up, and down. Let's try that again. Everything from the belt line up. Much as you're able, squeeze the glutes together, engage them, squeeze the blades together, engage, engage. 1, 2, 3, 4. Come up into what's called Sphinx pose. Palms up, elbows on the ground, and just push the chest up as much as you're able. Again, squeezing the glutes together and down. Curl your toes under. We're going to come into a forearm plank, kind of more of a traditional plank. Ready, up. Everything is in line, head, neck, spine is in line. Your glutes are in line with your spine and your legs. Nothing's sagging, nothing's pushing up. Don't cheat. And down. Come up to all fours. Curl your toes under. Push back into downward facing dog. Bring your heels down to the ground as much as you're able. Let your head and neck drop. Give them a little break. Come into high plank. Right leg off the ground a few inches. Ready, right knee, right elbow, back, right knee, left elbow, back, right knee to chest. Go ahead and arch up. Back, come into line. Right leg down. Left leg up. Left knee, left elbow. Back. Left knee, right elbow. Back. Left knee, chest. Go ahead and arch up. Come back and into high plank. Drop your knees. Push back into child's pose. Walk your fingers away from your body. Let your neck and head hang. Come up into hero's pose. If you're able, sit back on your heels. And come back into that comfortable seated position. I hope you've enjoyed our practice today. I hope you found value in it. I know that for many, yoga is something they just don't want to try, but I have found, and I hope you find too, that doing yoga is deceptively challenging. It's a good workout and it builds strength and balance and flexibility. As always, if you have any comments or requests, drop me a line at yogaforoldguys@gmail.com. Comment on YouTube. And if you would, hit like and share. I hope you have a great day. I'm Kurt Bowman, and have a great day. Bye-bye.